switching gears to the fours, obviously, and here I'm presenting the graphic. Obviously, we got the big man, the unicorn, still on the mend. Back home. I guess he's back home in Latvia still. But KP's out on the mend. We got the two reclamation projects in Mario Hezonja, Noah Vonleh, and we got Isaiah Hicks too. But we got Isaiah.
Don't forget him. Whatever you do, don't forget him.
And we got Isaiah Hicks.
Did you guys see the dunk though I posted a little while ago? He's doing warm-ups for
I missed that.
basketball.
Well, he dunked on somebody?
No, it was just during warm-ups, and it wasn't like crazy, but like he definitely threw down. Like it wasn't like a little light thing. Like
okay. Doing some strength training in the off season again.
Yeah.
All right, working his twitch muscles. Okay, I see you.
So let's talk about obviously KP's on the mend. We'll wait for him to come back. They picked up Hezonja and Vonleh as the two reclamation projects for this year. Cheap one-year deals. We'll see, still young guys, former lottery picks who fell out of favor with their respective teams. Noah Vonleh is, I believe this is his third team. He was on the Hornets and the Blazers. The fourth team. He was on the Bulls last year as well. Let's start with Hezonja. What do you guys think he fits in this lineup? Jay Ellis, I'll go with you. Do you see him more at the 4, at the 3? What do you think about Hezonja?
That's an unknown for me, man, because you know what? When he was on Orlando, he seemed to kind of flourish offensively at the 4, but defensively, that 4 was also a little
barbecue
bit
chicken.
Yeah, man, it was a little bit of train wreck. It was a little of that old lady defense.
Yeah.
And with Fizz on here, I don't know if he's gonna really roll for that. But we do have an advantage with Mario at the 4 and offensive end because he is a stretch 4. He can't hit the 3. He can pass, and he can do other things for us. So it remains to be seen whether he really stays with the 4 or the 3. But he has some competition. Offensively, he might be our best option at the 4.
Might be.
But then you got to look at Vonleh and possibly Lance Thomas. Who knows?
True. Yeah, and since we're talking about Lance, we could segue to Macri. Macri, I'm thinking. I thought that Lance might, and still obviously early, training camp hasn't even started yet, but I think that Lance is my more logical option at the 4 for the time being. Just because I feel like, he can protect Knox. He'll be able to rebound. He'll be kind of the coach's eyes out there for the front court.
Yeah. I actually think Lance, there's not a good chance that he'll start at the 4, but I think it's not inconceivable. My pick right now to start, I think one of two things is going to happen.
Vonleh?
I don't think it's gonna be Vonleh. I think Vonleh is a nice energy guy. I think if he could develop a role into the first big off the bench, that'd be great for him. And I think that might be out there for him. But I see one of two things. Well, let me put it this way: I think Knox is gonna start. I think Knox starting is as guaranteed as anybody except maybe Cantor. I don't think there's any possibility that Knox does not start going into the air. Just kind of reading the tea leaves, listening to the way Fizdale has talked. So then you figure, all right, well, is he going to start at the 3 or the 4? And I don't think they want to start him at the 4, which is why I could see them starting him at the 3 and then starting Lance Thomas. But before anybody gets crazy and wants to kill me, which they already do because I've said Lance Thomas's name without a profanity afterward.
I said the same thing. Don't.
I think they'll probably do one of these deals where it's like kind of a starter emeritus almost, where a guy is in the starting lineup technically, but then after 4 or 5 minutes, he'll get pulled. Yeah. And I think maybe they move Knox to the 4 and then bring in Mario Hezonja to play the 3. Either that or they just start Mario and Knox together. Because people forget Mario Hezonja is not a small guy. He's 6'8".
Yeah.
And I think ultimately the big thing is, and the reason why I would be hesitant about starting Lance is, as much as I love Lance Thomas, his shot, he's not stretching.
Terrible, man. Terrible.
It's rebounding. That's my thing with the rebounding.
Well, that's not good either. A lot of things you could gripe with about Lance, but nobody respects his shot, and nobody is going to respect his shot for a while. he would have to really come out of the season, starting the season on fire for that to change. So if you want to try to give your offense a chance to succeed, you got to put enough shooting out there. And I think Hezonja might be their best shooter. So that's why I think Hezonja Knox as a starting 3-4 combination makes some sense. That's the one I would like to see. Something tells me they're not going to want to start Knox as a nominal 4. That would be my guess.
Yeah, I mean, Mario at the 4, I think they said last year he gave up 75% of opponent shots in the post. So Shaq would have a field day. JB, jump in here, man. What do you think about, the 4s, Hezonja, Vonleh, and the like?
Yeah, so I think, again, like always, it also depends who these guys are playing with, right? So if you have Tim Hardaway Jr. and you have Knox and you have Burke, let's say those 3 are on the floor, well, then, you can get away a little more with Lance, hoping he's helping you on defense, putting them in the right positions on defense, right? So I think that, to me, dictates it a lot. What I like about Hezonja is that he can, push the ball. I think Fizdale talked back in Summer League that he wants the team off rebounds. Whoever gets the rebound, they're now the ball handler. Everyone else, goes down quickly, keep the ball moving. Hezonja is perfect for that. So if he's in a position where he's playing the 4, that allows him to also rebound, so he can then be the guy who's pushing it down court, I think that he can thrive in that setting. So I agree everything, I guess, what you guys were saying, but just to add, I think a little bit depends on who. There could be instances where if you have Hardaway on the bench and you're playing Frank instead of Burke, and all of a sudden, you don't have KP, all of a sudden that offense,
We have an offense-defense problem
need some
in general
points,
right
man.
now.
Need some points.
Right, you need some points. And then in that case, you're probably substituting, what you get from Lance on defense for offense. But if he's playing, like I said, with Hardaway and Burke and Knox, well, then you're not as worried about losing that offense. So.
And just quick on that note, it goes the other way too. Like you were saying, if you have Trey Burke out there, along with Timmy and Knox, you could get away with Lance more. If you have Frank in there, and obviously he brings more on the defensive end at this point, and you maybe don't trust him to run the team as the primary ball handler full time. Well, that makes sense to put Mario there alongside him, because Mario, not that he's a point guard, but he can handle the ball. If I'm the Knicks, I'm comfortable with Frank and Hezonja, and even, Tim Hardaway can kind of sort of run a pick and roll. Give me those 3 guys out there. I'm comfortable with the ball moving sufficiently in my offense to get things going.
Yeah. I'm still nervous about the idea of Mario and Knox defensively at the same time. It makes me a little bit nervous, not gonna lie.
Yeah. With Cantor as
with Cantor.
Matador D.
That scares the hell out of me.
Matador D Central, man. But
Fizdale has his work cut out for him.
Oh yeah. Fizdale's gonna earn his check in the first year, absolutely, man. But yeah, let's see what happens. At the very least, if they do start Mario, you have an extra facilitator out there on the floor. So that could certainly help us. But let's see which way Fizdale goes with it. Guys in the chat watching at home, what do you guys think about the Knicks power forward situation? Mario Hezonja, Vonleh. Who do you think should start at the 4? Leave us a comment below. Let us know what you're thinking. Also on the phone calls, if people are calling in, we're going to take the phone calls after we do the ticket giveaway, just so we can kind of push through the program here. But salute to everybody in the chat. Pedersen says Lance Thomas's ass juice. Okay. Pedersen is my guy, man. There's
oh my god.
The Knicks fans do not spare words when it comes to Lance Thomas. That's for damn sure.
Ass juice is a good one. That's
juice.
Yeah.
Solid.
Ass juice.
But yeah, I mean, the thing though with Lance is like, again, there. I think Macri, you're talking about this a little bit earlier with Noah, but the idea is when you have a team of young players, it is important, right, to have the right guys around those players. And I get why people don't always love, Lance, because he's not going to, blow you away with offensive skills, but he does do, and, obviously in my position, watching a lot of the film after each game, I mean, he just does a lot of the habit-based things right. Simple stuff like he's running down the court and he'll always have his arms up just in case, he makes a pass a little bit harder, right? And it's like, those are good habits for the young players to see a guy who's a veteran that still does them every single time. I guess we can't overlook those things too.
Yeah, Lance's intangibles, man. Look, he led the Knicks in inspirational speeches in the locker room last year, right? First of all.
Hey, he's the captain, man.
He's the captain. That's what the captain does, right?
Right.
I mean, he's also not as bad at shooting 3-pointers as we think. I mean, he shot a decent percentage, 40%. Yeah. He's just very slow. Like, this windup is so slow.
Yeah.
That by the time he's ready to shoot it, you already done recovered, and then he does his little fake move with the little slow floater thing that misses 60% of the time. But that's really what it is with Lance. Like, he needs to speed that up, bro.
Well, believe me, I as the president of the Lance Thomas fan club, I've spent a lot of time on stat sites, cleaning the glass, and what have you, trying to find some stats to show that Lance Thomas was better than people say he was last year, and they don't exist. The stats, there's just no good stats.
No, he was bad last season. He was bad. And I took flack from him on my podcast because I defended him for a minute when he had his little decent stretch, and then I couldn't defend him last season. So this is not for a long period of time anyway.
Oh man, God bless Lance, man. God bless.
Yeah, man. My guy from Brooklyn, man.
Yeah, at the very least, is a native New Yorker. We give him some points, man. Give him some points. All right, so.